And in today's video, we're continuing our coverage on the Kaiju MonsterVerse Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. You might as well call me MonsterVerse always at the moment. So, Adam Wingard has come out and said some pretty cool things about the main villain that they revealed this far, being ScarKing, in a recent interview with Total Film. So we're going to go over this. Is this game-changing? No, but it adds a lot more context, and at least Adam Wingard's trying to hype you up on the ScarKing, even though we already know he's not really the villain, or is he? And also, there's an interesting update about Trailer 2, which we already kind of knew. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on the future of the MonsterVerse, I guess you could say. If you're new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Kaiju, MonsterVerse, Marvel, DC, pop culture-based content that I do also cover. So please check out the Marvel content we did recently. Check out the Rebel Moon review we did, and also check out the ending explain that we did for Aquaman 2. As I'm from England, so it's called Aquaman 2. Obviously. Also, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face, find the beautiful voice, and check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. Right, let's get into it. So, in the interview with Total Film, Adam Wingard had this to say. What's interesting about this new film is that we're going in a direction that I don't think the series has ever seen before, which is that ScarKing is, in a way, the closest that the human threat has ever been, just opposed to a Titan. I think it's supposed to say just opposed to being a Titan itself. Director Adam Wingard tells Total Film about the villain in our new issue, which features Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. Wingard adds, the ScarKing almost represents an upscale version of the worst parts of humanity, just as Kong represents some of the best parts of humanity. I would say that ScarKing is the greatest set that we've seen in these movies. It's really going to take a full team together to bring it down because it's too big for just one Titan. A full team. It's almost like he's telling you about SHIMO. Now, what's interesting is how freaking big is SHIMO, right? Because apparently ScarKing's going to be 400 feet. Careful for spoilers, I don't want to ruin your life. But if ScarKing is 400 feet, then SHIMO is gonna have to be at least 600 feet. That's gonna be pretty freaking insane. Well, it's not really news, but this source is pretty reliable, so I do use them quite a lot. So KDM Monsters gave us a bit of an update, but realistically, it's kind of common knowledge, and we've said it. So someone said to him on Twitter, why wasn't he in the trailer if they're just gonna show him everywhere? So they're talking about Shimu, and there's some hyperbole. Is that the right word? I don't know, we use it. That is Shimu male, is he female? It doesn't really matter. It's a Kaiju freaking Titan. It doesn't really matter what the gender is. And he responded with, you'll see him in the main trailer. So as people know, the main trailer is realistically the second trailer, and then the final trailer is obviously the last trailer. So like we've said, and like multiple other people that cover stuff like this, there's so many cool channels that cover MonsterVerse stuff. So yeah, SHIMO will be revealed in a trailer because SHIMO is literally everywhere, to the point where we've got a product description here that literally tells you more about the movie than any trailer has. When a colossus threat is discovered within our world, Godzilla must fight. Godzilla and Kong must fight to protect their existence and our own. The Godzilla X Kong 15 centimeter Shimu brings a dangerous foe to your collection with epic details that capture his new movie look. Figure includes Shimo Frostbite and comes in a unique Godzilla X Kong packaging. Complete your MonsterVerse collection with other figures and accessories from the new Godzilla X Kong range. So basically confirms that Shimo's in the movie. They just haven't officially confirmed it yet, which is pretty strange. So it's cool that Adam Wingard's trying to hype the fans up and trying to make out that ScarKing is crazy strong. Well, I think if Kong's going to have to team up with somebody else, being Godzilla, then Shimo and ScarKing's going to have to be freaking insanely powerful. Also in the news. So Adam Wingard also said this when addressing the final shot of the trailer, which is Kong's Beast glove, which is basically confirmed. It's kind of hard to say too much more than that without spoiling anything, because he has one of my favorite intros of any character I've ever shot in my film. What I will say is I'd want to play with that action figure if I was a kid. And though Apex isn't in the story in a literal way, we kind of hint that Monarch absorbed a lot of Apex's technology. After the last film, the glove Kong is wearing, it's somewhat Apex technology. So a lot of people have memed it like it's Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet from the Earth 616 in the Marvel Cinematic Universe without actually being that. So it's interesting because this article here also says Avengers style ending of Godzilla x Kong. It kind of was because it had Kong and Godzilla running side by side. Kong having the Infinity Gauntlet. It's pretty funny to like an MCU fan like me. So within the total film article, there are some interesting tidbits here and there. So Adam, I'm not going to go over all of it because this will make it a really long video. But within one part, Adam Wingard says this. Wingard with a tug of his mighty beard. So what disrupts the peace this time out? Well, Wingard and co. are loath to go into the plot detail. Basically, they don't want to ruin too much, but they say little bits here and there. But we know that Kong explores Hollow Earth to a far greater degree, which is cool because that was my biggest criticism of Godzilla vs Kong is we didn't get to see much of Hollow Earth. He discovers he's not the king after all, literally sitting on a throne at one point in the trailer. ScarKing is bigger than Kong, leaner, more agile. His red fur, the color of blood and fury, and he seems to have an army of titanic primates. That confirms it. He has an army of gorillas, like I said, at his bidding. He clearly rules his domination by fear. Just look at all those skulls littered around the gaff. You can tell this sounds like it was written by an English person. He's not about to accept Kong rocking up to Hollow Earth. So what else do we know? Well, we see the return of Monarch scientist Dr. Andrews, played by Rebecca Hall, her adopted daughter Gia, and the conspiracy theorists, played by Brian Henry. And they will spend all of their time together after split into Camp Kong and Camp Godzilla in the last movie. There are new characters. Okay, Dan Stevenson is along for the adventure in a co-lead capacity as Trapper, says Stevens, who's been looking to reteam with Wingard since they made the guest together. Not a military vet, a veterinarian. He's a specialist in these creatures. So he's essentially a dentist for Titans, which is pretty cool. Like I said, we're not going to go over every single detail, but we're just going to go over a few bits here and there, which I think are fascinating. We have scenes in Rio, we have scenes in Rome, and the film still has the big international feel. We cover a lot of ground. So the Monster Squad, essentially, yeah, we've been over that part already. There's an interesting page about Godzilla. I wanted this to be my mic drop on storytelling of monsters. We're gonna get the drop kick. We are gonna get, maybe. The trailer doesn't tell us all about why ScarKing is the world-ending threat. There's a lot of mystery to be uncovered yet. It's interesting because in general, these movies are always about the human threat. We know the human beings are somewhat responsible for a lot of the problems. Mechagodzilla in the pinnacle of that. We literally created an anti-Godzilla to combat Godzilla. Yeah, but kind of funny how spilling coffee destroyed Mechagodzilla, kind of. Right, let's go on. And then that's just too much power for anyone to have. What's interesting about this new movie is that we go into a new direction that I don't think the series has been... Okay, we've been over that earlier in the video, but there's a lot more context now. Wingard is hyped now, swinging verbal haymakers as wildly as Kong were trying to take out Big G, the aircraft carrier in the last movie. We go bigger on this one. He promises the movie is the high octagon. It's a non-stop. I can't believe everything we've packed in, because apparently the runtime's only 2 hours. We've got some set pieces like his eyes sources. But the most important thing, and I cannot stress, is that this movie is doing something that no film has ever done before. We are breaking new ground with visual effects in terms of non-verbal storytelling. We have larger sequences, almost 8 minutes sometimes, where the film just follows the monsters, which is freaking cool because, let's be honest, that's all anybody cares about. Well, me, realistically. I'm saying when I say anyone, I'm talking about me. The monsters are telling their own story. It really works. It's not like you're sitting there trying to figure out, okay, what they're doing. These monsters are emo, as in Wingard. His passion is palpable. That is the movie I wanted to see when I was a kid. When you're a kid, you barely even understand some of the human subplots. But when the monsters are fighting each other, you understand their alliances. You understand Godzilla and Mothra's relationship. You understand Godzilla and Ghidorah's relationship. Your imagination is interfering with the movie. So I wanted to truly do a monster movie, and I wanted this to be my mic drop moment of storytelling with the monsters. Maybe I'll do another one, maybe not. But if I don't, I wanted to make sure that I put everything into this. So pretty cool. So it actually comes out in April. Sorry, guys. I said in yesterday's video. Yeah, I know. I said it came out in March. It was a slip. I did put in a bunch of comments that that wasn't the case. So yeah, I mean, if you have read the whole interview, it's only 4 pages long. I just wanted to go over some of the tidbits. I didn't want to go over everything. Like I say, it doesn't really go into too much detail outside of what you'd already assume in the trailers, but there are some cool little bits here and there that I've gone over. I didn't want to go over the whole thing because it would turn into a really long video. I just wanted to go over the main parts that I picked up from the interview with Total Film with Adam Wingard. So like always, guys, let us know what do you think about everything we've said in this video. If you want me to cover any other things to do with Godzilla X Kong the Empire. I know I keep saying I will be covering Marvel, DC, and a bunch of other stuff. I will be. It's just there's so much Godzilla X Kong the Empire to go over recently. I know some people are getting annoyed about it. Sorry about that. But I will be covering other stuff. Don't worry, guys. So like always, guys, let us know everything, all your theories about the movie down below. Any criticism, any constructive feedback is cool. So like always, guys, I will catch you in another video very soon, guys. Catch you later.